Hello, welcome to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. Today, I'm going to speak about gentrification, and it's happening across a lot of the urban cities now. And I've had discussions and debates with individuals in regards to gentrification. I'm going to speak from my standpoint. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to one. And I might make some people upset because my viewpoint and my ideology about all of this may be different than others. But it's a conversation that we, especially in the African American community, need to have so that we can understand how we can win in the redevelopment of the urban communities. So I'm going to read the Google definition of gentrification. It is Google says gentrification is a noun and it's a process whereby the character of a poor urban area is changed by wealthy people moving in, improving housing and attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants in the process. Now, a lot of people feel gentrification is a racist or culture thing, but it's economics. And a lot of people in those areas that are being affected by gentrification feel slighted, feel that their opportunity to stay within their community is limited because of their economic level. It's making property taxes higher, and it's a lot of things that go behind gentrification. And it is economics. It does push people out. And quite frankly, I'm okay with gentrification. I'm okay with it because the home that I own in the urban community is worth more now because people who make more are coming into the community, driving up my property value. But that's what I want to happen. That is the purpose of me becoming a homeowner. It's so that my property value will increase. Now, I would feel a little sense of guilt if I know the people that look like me didn't spend trillions of dollars buying material possessions and not investing. So I don't feel any kind of way or feel any ill will about embracing gentrification because the things that the average person sees on television and want to attain, they will never obtain being a consumer. So I read these books and I'll later post them. When I deal with a client that's an investor, I ask them, do they like to read, especially my new investors. And this year, I'm giving it to my college graduates because when I was coming up, I was growing. I graduated from college as I was maturing into an adult. My dad would always say, Tiffany, you never be rich working every day for someone. And he's right. I have other people say you need to leave legacy behind, but they're right. You need to build your own wealth. They're right. But the thing that they didn't do was give me, well, my dad did. I'm gonna take that back. He did give me some blueprints and formats, but he only knew what he knew. So that means I had to read and learn and educate myself in order to get a total format of how to do that. But I've learned in being an educator and communicating with young adults, people tell them to do things, but don't give them the tools to be able to accomplish it. Give them the playbook. I will always tell my students, I will develop the roadmap to success for you, but you have to get in the car and drive it. I can't do that for you. And you have to decide when I drive and develop the map, are you going to stay on the road towards what you consider success? Or are you going to deviate and go travel another route? And you have all rights to do that. But when you make those choices in life, You can't be upset with anyone about the choices that you had, that you made. Some things are uncontrollable, but a lot of things in life we can choose to do differently. So the factors in which we have control over, like, I didn't get mad about the speed light cameras. Why I used to get mad about them? Because I don't have to speed. I can do the speed limit and avoid getting a ticket. That's a control variable. But I do have a problem with my property taxes constantly going up. I have a problem with my water bill going up. Those are uncontrolled variables because I can't control it if I have no control over those variables. But things I have control of, I just do what I need to do to get in line and make it work for me. And gentrification comes into play with things you have control over. You can't want to be wealthy, but have the mindset of a person that's not wealthy. I don't take advice from people who have not tried it and failed at it, tried it and succeeded at it, or have that's the people I take advice from, but I don't take advice from people who never done it. Like, you can't tell me how to build a business and you never even tried to build one. You sitting at home talking about what you coulda, shoulda, woulda. Now, if you tried to build a business, I'm gonna listen to everything you tell me, even if the business wasn't successful. And the reason I'm gonna listen to you, because you can show me what not to do, where you went wrong at. If you built the business and it was successful, I'm going to listen to you. But if you've never tried to accomplish anything in life other than telling people what they should or should not do, being there judgmental, but never tried it for yourself, you can't give me any advice. But I have noticed in our culture, the African American culture of wanting to be something that we're not, we have a tendency to take lead from people who look like they're wealthy. So I've been reading this book, and it's called The Millionaire Next Door. I've read the first chapter. So now I'm reading The Next Millionaire Next Door and understanding what wealth looks like. So I already know this, but now I'm learning more about the wealth pool of the 22nd century, of the new century. And the reason I studied this is because the only people that I can make money from is people who want to become wealthy. Real estate is a wealth building business. Let's get this clear. So if you don't have any good credit and no money, you can't serve me any purpose of building a wealth with you. Now, I can tell you how to get those avenues in place so that you can build wealth, but I can't help you to buy a home. And it honestly, at this point in my life where I am in the business that I'm in after 21 years, it kind of irritates me when someone calls me wanting to purchase a home, rent a home, or do anything and have no resources. Like, what do you want me to do for you? I can't rent you anything. I can't sell you anything if you have no resources. Now, if you come to me and say, Tiffany, hey, I'm trying to buy a house, where do I start at? I can help you with that. But if you're telling me you look for a 3-bedroom house, a 3-bedroom apartment, and I ask you how much income you got, and you tell me I don't have no job, what you want me to do for you? Like, you have to take the first steps on your own. So when we get into gentrification, it's not unfair if you're not taking the right steps so that you won't be pushed out of your community. Now, I was telling someone earlier, I say, we always making excuses about the man this and the man that, and they holding us back and they stopping us from doing this. And I tell people, and I tell my elders that they messed our generation up, and now we're messing up the next generation to come behind us. And it started with Martin Luther King March on Washington, the civil rights movement, and it came about because he was fighting for equality. And for some reason or another, we believe equality means I'm going to assimilate, acculturate, and become a part of somebody else's thought process and beliefs and system instead of taking what we have now access to and bringing it back into our own communities. So he really was fighting for access. And we now, this generation of African Americans, have access. But now that we have access, we don't know what to do with the access other than consume what the marketers and the salespeople of the wealthy people put in place to put before you to make you spend all of your assets buying liabilities that will never make you wealthy. So now you're not a part of the gentrification movement because you have no assets. You have nothing. Your property value is below value because you elected to buy a 75-inch screen television. And yes, I can care less if you buy a 75-inch television. But what I do have a problem with, if you're my neighbor with a 75-inch television and your roof is about to fall off, the soffit and the siding is coming off your home, the banister is rusted, the grass in the front yard has weeds in it, and you got dandelions growing, which is blowing onto my beautiful lawn, and I have to work extra hard to keep my lawn in place. I have a problem with that because that 75-foot television you bought could have been used towards you getting some fertilizer for your grass and some weed be gone, and get you some paint for your exterior, fixing your roof. So I had this one person to tell me, she said, my roof is leaking. I said, your roof is leaking. Okay, I'm listening. And she said, but I can't afford to get it fixed. I said, but then you just tell me you bought a doggone $5,000 furniture set from the furniture store. And she said, yeah, but I got the furniture set because they'll give me credit for furniture, but they won't give me no credit to get my roof fixed. Okay, fine. I get that. But you got to pay that bill on the furniture set. So the money that you will use to pay down the bill for the furniture set is the money you should be saving to fix your leaking roof, because your furniture is no good if your roof is leaking. Economics, being smart about how you utilize your money. So in 1998, when the book was written, it was only 9% of the American people were millionaires. 9% of American people, millionaires. In 2020, 13% of American people are millionaires. And what does millionaires look like? This is the gentrification part. They live in areas that you would not normally see them live in. They drive vehicles that they would normally not be considered as a wealthy person's vehicle. And they're very frugal with their money to build a level of wealth to leave back behind a legacy. So I'm going to give you these 3 books that I've read and I'm reading, and for you all to read, and then we'll pick this back up. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep doing Tiffany Teach Tuesday every Tuesday because I'm really, really busy these days. And I'm not sure if I'm even giving anybody any useful information. I believe that I am supposed to be here to teach people to learn something, to make better decisions. And I'm not sure if I'm doing that. So I will decide in a couple of days if I'm going to do it or not. But the books are Rich Dad, Poor Dad and The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. And then the other books are The Millionaire Next Door and The Next Millionaire Next Door by Morgan Stanley, I believe his name is. So thank you again for always tuning in to Tiffany Teach Tuesday. I have a whole lot more to say. However, I don't have the time. So I'm going to cut this short and I'll pick back up on the next Tuesday. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, and I am signing out.